What's up guys, my name's Emma.
And I'm Austin, and welcome to Geeking Out About It.
This week we're talking about Stardew Valley.
Yeah, we thought we'd take a break from the immense amount of death and conflict in our Star Wars week, and instead of doing Star Wars, we're now going to be doing Stardew, which is completely different.
One of the ways that you can tell is that it's based off of Harvest Moon, which is a farming simulator with like a fairly vast
Harvest Moon, I would say, is a pretty substantial, beefy farming simulator, but Stardew Valley takes what it gave as a foundation and expands upon it dramatically.
Oh goodness gracious, yes. There's a wide varieties you can take it with, different occupations that you can have. Sort of, not like officially, but there's like different pathways you can take.
Well, yeah, you're not locked into the job.
Correct.
But you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. It depends on what you want to get the most XP doing. So you can mine, you can farm, you can fish, you can
be a lumberjack if you want to be a lumberjack.
Be a lumberjack.
You could wear a flannel shirt and swing around with an axe and grow a beard like our good other host Jacob looks like.
Abraham Lincoln.
Or you could just spend your entire days in the mines adventuring with a sword, which I guess means it's a little bit more conflict heavy than I originally anticipated, but you have to be me to do that.
You're just not fighting an intergalactic war, you are fighting a slime.
Yeah, and you just faint if you get knocked over too many times, like a Pokemon.
So quite a bit different, but one of the most amazing things about that game is that it was developed by one guy. Professionally, he is Concerned Ape, but his real name is Eric Baroni. He did the coding for that game, he did the artwork for that game, he did the music for that game, he did a lot of the early advertising and marketing for the game. It's insane.
It is a beefy project to take on as one guy.
It is quite.
You know, with this show, I mean, even in the quarantine version, there's still 4 of us that work on this show on a pretty regular basis, and we're only making, well, usually 2 episodes a week. Imagine trying to make a freaking video game under those circumstances. Even one with pixelated art, it's still really well designed pixel art. Oh, and the size of the map. I mean, just walking across it takes a couple of in-game hours, or in real life about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it's shortened a little bit for player experience, but one of the other things is the depth of the personalities that he gave to the NPCs.
Oh yeah, really well, thoroughly designed NPCs. They're actual characters with character development that happens. The better you get to know them, you get to learn more about them. Their dialogue is somewhat repetitive because they only have so many options, but very well written and well designed. You feel like emotional attachment to these little 2-bit characters run around on the screen, 8-bit characters run around on the screen in pixel art. Hey, hello, and you're just a teeny little thing to me, and yet I feel more attachment to you than the vast majority of video game characters in general.
Or an emotional disconnect, because you have a couple characters that you just do not care for.
They're so well written. There's characters I hate. When you make characters I actually dislike, that's actually not that hard. You just have to make them be escort mission characters. But when you make them characters I don't have to interact with and I still dislike them, that's pretty good. But there's also characters I really do enjoy, like my best girl, Abigail. She's like teenage rebel with a sword, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things you can do. You can get to know these characters. You can actually forge relationships with these characters if you want to. They all have this likability meter towards you. It's basically a 10-heart scale, and the things that you do that they like, they'll give you a heart reward, and if you do something they don't like, they take it away from you. Things that they do like are talking to them on a regular basis, and things that they don't like are not talking to them on a regular basis, or giving them gifts one way or the other, or if they have little interactable events. Anyway, there's a lot of ways to change the relationship with you, and that actually holds over the entire course of the game, which can last a very long time.
Yeah, you can go for hundreds of in-game years if you wanted to. I think there's actually a special, I guess it would be an event for, I think, 1,000 years in. I might be wrong on that, but the only way to get to that is to go through your system and time skip, like I guess you would in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, pretty much, because if you play for 1,000 years of Stardew Valley, it's a very good game with lots of replayability, but at some point
it's gonna get a little
It's like the people who watch the Bee Movie 400,000 times in a row. How do you do that?
Oh, very, very carefully. But with all that vastness, it became like an indie breakout game. I haven't seen a score for this game below 88%. That is insane for an indie game that came out of nowhere. Yeah,
and it managed to get off of just Steam, too. Most indie games that manage to make a kind of breakout do fairly well on a PC market, just being a Steam game, but Stardew Valley managed to do so well that it was picked up for support on the Switch, of all things. Nintendo hates third-party software, and it was picked up for support on the Switch because of how good it is and how much it fits with their sort of calm, relaxed brand that they go for.
Yeah.
And it's really good too when you see an indie game like that breaking out. Although I do admit, when you see an indie game break out, it is almost always one of those farming sims or crafting sims. So Stardew Valley is inevitably compared to its sort of semi-competitors, Minecraft and Terraria, which aren't the same game at all, but they are in the same genre, I suppose, of relatively small developer games with lots of open worldness to them and lots of replayability. But however, when Minecraft focuses on building structures and their new story modes and survival modes that they were building out, Stardew Valley is entirely focused on just being a part of a little community and having a good little life in your little community with your farm. Or your sword if you're me.
There's different ways. That's all part of the vastness. But unfortunately, I think that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for watching.
Yes, and if you appreciate this episode of Geeking Out About It, or any of our other episodes of Geeking Out About It, which you definitely should check out, go ahead and leave a like or comment and tell us why it's good. Please.
Please. See you guys.
Goodbye.